Yo, look, right. This what's up with E. Welcome back to California's Dreaming. We got a special show today, special guests. Nobody's perfect, right? And everybody has things they need to work on and issues and things that they can't handle themselves, right? So I just got back from the gym. The gym was extremely packed today, extremely packed. So I think people in the gym nowadays, it's a difference from before, right? So now people go into the gym to work out a lot of issues with themselves. So just like me, like I'd rather go to the gym than go out and do something party or club or something like that, right? So everybody has issues. Everybody's gone through trauma. Everybody's gone through something that makes you who you are today, or that hinders something in you that makes you can't get over the hump, or you can't finish this, or you can't do this because of some things that you've gone through or some things that you're currently going through, right? So I thought that this was a good fit, and then like honestly a better direction, because this helps people a lot more understanding how important mental health is, and you being fixed before you move on to a different relationship, if you are moving on to a different relationship, or you just being fixed so you as a person, as an individual, can get to your goals. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't do nothing if you're walking around sad all day, or if you're hurt from a past situation or past relationship, or if you're still letting those things get to you, right? But look though, what's up with E Story Time? 3 books in one. Nest of the Mouse, Let's Go Fishing Mr. Ant, and Let's Go Camping Mr. Ant. Now available on Amazon. Got another book reading tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? San Francisco, California. If you guys check it out and you guys want me to come and do some book readings for the kids, I think tomorrow it's like K through 3rd grade tomorrow. So that should be pretty fun though, right? So like I said, everybody needs help with something. Everybody's going through something. So why don't y'all kick back, listen to the conversation, take what you need out of it, and hopefully there will be some more conversations that we select topics and people could hone in on those topics, and then we'll have different people, so different people could give their opinion on how to get through certain situations, or how to fix things, or just some better information to give other than the things that we see on social media every day, right? Right. What's up with E? California's Dreaming. Check out this episode, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's recording?
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to be like...
It just started.
Okay. All right. Well, so my name is Kelly Hanzy. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have a private practice. It is called Kelly K. Hanzy Therapy. And it's primarily working with so adolescents, maybe, starting at age 15 through adults, and it ranges, my clientele ranges from, people struggling with depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, grief and loss. Also, there's family therapy that I offer too, and with a specific focus on blended families, which is pretty common now. Also, couples counseling, right? So premarital and, once you're married. And also, any trauma from, experience from racism, which is really big. I know I'm missing a lot. But you can go to my website and check it out, KellyKHanzyTherapy.com. It's up and running. And yeah, so I'm also a mom. I have a teenage son who's 16. He is my everything. And my goal is to lay the foundation, create a blueprint for him to follow. So I want him to have that. I didn't necessarily have that for myself, and so I want that for him.
And then how is it though, being full time and private your own practice, and then having a son that's active? Because you know some kids just stay at home all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So how does that work out?
Yeah. Oh, he's very busy. He's very busy, but you know he's number one. He's number one, and we have talks often about, you know, to the best that I can, you know, if I need to put things on pause with work, you know, he knows that I'm there for him, you know, and but it is a balance. It's a balance that I think too, just as being a mother, right, and being a therapist, I often find myself trying to just balance my approach, right? So I'm human before I'm a therapist, and so it's like mom therapist, right? And so it's like, oh, did I say that right? Was that supportive? Was it helpful? And you know, he actually comes and talks to me a lot for advice, and
so does that make it easier for you, like with the education background and what you do for work?
Yes, but not a whole lot, because it's kind of like cleaning a house, cleaning the inside of a house. I'm sorry, I'm trying to use the same analogy that I use with parents. It's hard to really see your own stuff from an unbiased perspective. So sometimes it's, you know, a lot of the training that you have is like, not that it goes out the door, but it's hard to maybe see certain things that you're able to see, you know, from a neutral stance, right? So with that saying, it's easy to, you know, see the needle or the, you know, the little thing that's in someone else's eye, but you can't pick it out. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's always a lot easier to observe and to make a like a conscious or more thought out decision looking at someone else's situation, because you don't feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very objective at that point, but you know, and that's why they say, you know, don't try to give therapy to like family members. It's like you don't know how to be objective. There's so much emotion behind that, and that goes back to the whole saying of, you know, don't have a dual relationship, right? So don't try to be, you know, a sibling and a therapist at the same time, or don't try to be, you know, a significant other and that person's therapist at the same time. It's just, you can't.
So how long have you been therapist?
I have been a therapist now for about 7 years, and I did a huge career change to really jump into the field.
And then what was it before?
So before, I worked for the Social Security Administration as a claims authorizer, so processing interviews for retirement, disability, survivors benefits, but it wasn't, and I did that for about 10 years, and it didn't feel meaningful to me. It didn't feel, I just felt like whatever you do, you should feel passion about it. You know, it's not about, for me, it's not about how much you make, but at the end of the day, can you say what you did was meaningful, right? Can you say that I feel satisfied by, you know, how I spent my time away from home? Do I feel like the time I spent away from my son was meaningful, right? And at the end of the day, how was I impactful? How did I help? And I struggled with that working there. really struggled with that, and I didn't feel like I was.
And so things, your feelings are a lot different now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It sometimes, honestly, sometimes it doesn't even feel like work. It feels like it, and not to minimize the importance of therapy, but because I'm genuinely doing what I am passionate about and what I feel to be my gift, in this world. And not to be vain or anything like that, but I think that we all have gifts, our natural gifts and our natural talents, and I think sometimes that gets foreshadowed by money.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's I think what's really, unfortunate when people get wrapped up in just the monetary things that they miss out on what's really like priceless,
Well, that's what makes you go that way. Like wanting to do the same thing that everybody else is doing, or have the same things.
Right.
So you go get a job and then you get stuck there because you can't go nowhere else because you didn't go to school, or you didn't go do whatever else it was that you were supposed to do. Yeah, it would have took you a little longer to get where you were going, but people, they don't think about it like that.
No, and then I think that's a good point, and that comes back to your relationship with yourself, right? That when you truly feel at peace with who you are and what you have to bring, you don't worry about what everybody else has.
Yeah.
And so I think that it takes people a while to get there.
Yeah, and then it's even harder with social media and and everything today. Like, so much stuff is not true. Like, so you go on an app, or you go on TikTok, right? And if you are looking for a person, or if you are one of those people that are trying to get people off of the apps, you don't even know if the people really look like that.
No,
it's like filter central.
Yes.
Like from just everything, you don't know what's what.
No.
Like I don't. So
yeah, I mean that was there before though. That was there before.
I know, but it's crazier now,
right.
because it's just a filter.
Right.
Just a filter. It's like you're not even putting on the makeup anymore.
No.
And then it's some stuff that guys are doing that's kind of foul. Like I see some stuff. So it's even harder to be genuine when all of this and you don't know what's real.
Yes. Yeah.
I just think about, it's easier, but at the same time, it's 1,000 times harder to become a professional athlete now than it was when we were kids. So when we were kids, everybody wasn't trying to hoop or play baseball or football because of a social status.
Right.
It was because you really wanted to play.
Right.
Or nobody knew the secrets. Nobody knew, go do these workouts, go do this, do all these dribbling drills, go do all of this. Nobody knew that. So if you knew, then you had something up. Like you had a point up on someone. But now you just go on YouTube and everything is just so easy. Do this, and do this.
That's a good thing and a bad thing, right? So for people who can't afford that trainer, right, you have this resource of the internet at your fingertips.
Yeah, so, and then the person that and then it's kind of like it goes both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it goes both ways.
And then too, just the pressure of performing, right? Whether you made a team or not. Are you posting about being on a team?
Yep, I would say that's a lot different too.
That's social media in particular has definitely, I think, magnified a lot of things. It's made it much a bigger issue, right? So body image has always been an issue, right? Those insecurities have always been there for people, but now you have a platform that is showing perfection, right? And it's not real. It's not real. So even if you think about, so dang, I lost my train of thought. I'll come back to that. Yeah.
But like what you were saying though, the stuff on Instagram or social media isn't real. And then you're looking at like, yeah, somebody with that's hella in shape, maybe they have these special pants.
Right.
Or
that make certain features look a little more enhanced.
Yep,
than others.
or maybe the guys have been okay, I always say if you're outside or you're in the gym and you just see some guy who's hella in shape and he's hella big and you're hella skinny, you got to think about it. He probably came from playing football.
Yeah.
Or he probably came from playing in other sports.
Right, but we don't get to see the behind scenes though. You know, the work that went into looking like that. Social media is only showing you.
Oh yeah, that's because it's tough taking your shirt off when you 20% body fat. Who wants to see that?
Right.
And then it's full of judgment. That's the other thing. So if you weren't getting judged negatively, then you wouldn't care and you would show. I don't take my shirt off on social media. And like even in high school or middle school, like I've never been fat, but you know, it's kind of like we playing shirts and skins. I don't really want to take my shirt off, bro. like you want to trade teams? Like come on, like you not fat, but this dude got a six. How you get that? You got a 6-pack, dude. We in the 8th grade. How did you get that? So it was still there. It's just not on a higher scale.
Yeah, even so, the other point I wanted to make around that was bullying. It's way more intense than it was before. I mean, you may be bullied at school, and that was the end of it. But now there's the cyberbullying, which is a big deal, and a lot of schools have policies now around cyberbullying.
But acceptance is different now, though. Like we accept a lot more that we didn't accept, and what I mean by accept is like how we dressed at school. Like you had to be dressed.
Oh yeah.
The kids today, they don't have to be dressed.
No. They come to school in pajamas.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, it's like cap session. Yeah. Like, you know, we getting capped on, or you getting messed with, or we really found out your family is just broke. Like that's the deal. But now you don't have to be dressed every day or
for us it was like the first day of school. Yeah. You know, at the new school year you need to be suited and booted, but
so do you so do you get different problems or different issues like the families that come in today opposed to when you're younger? Like is it the same issues that you went through when you were a kid, or
yeah, it's the same, especially, you know, with blended families, right? And you know, you have the step parent that comes into the picture and not having a good rapport with the children that he stepped in, and you know, a lot of that goes back to, you know, just being on the same, both parents being on the same page, right? Having discussions around what's expected of the children, right? So it's yeah. So I think it's similar, but then once again going back to how children are not children the way we were, right? So a lot of children, they're parentified, which means that they have to step into an adult-like behavior. So in the sense that this parent sees their child as their peer, right? And then you have this child that's much more responsible, right, than the parent. So the roles have kind of flip-flopped, which I see Yeah. So there's some of that that's there. What else? I mean, parents that are just really, really busy and they're focused on attaining their own goals, and the kids just, all right, well, you figure it out. You know, I'll let you figure it out.
It's the
I've
it's the
seen that a
it's
lot
the
of that.
change in society too,
Mhm.
where no one wants to be told what to do.
Right.
So even for what would you say, like my grandparents, my grandma worked, my grandpa worked, but my grandma did most of the stuff with us.
Yeah.
You know, like when we were there, she was the one that was taking care of us and doing all
Right.
this stuff.
Mhm.
My grandpa, he did cook and he did stuff. He gave us whoopings, switches, like for
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
but it was different because I don't know if she wanted to do it, but she did it. She was there with us.
Yeah.
Like when we were there, she was there.
There's a need that going out so frequently serves, right? So whether it's there's a lot of stress at home, right? Any stress from work, right? And that's the outlet that they feel that they have. That's the outlet that they know, right? And so um,
I I think it's all social media. Cause I
so
think you
you don't
just
think people were going out like that before social
yeah
media?
yeah yeah, but not as much, because now it's like I want to keep up with you. I want to do the same thing you're
Right.
doing. I want to do that too. I want to do
Right.
that.
Right.
So even at the rate of persons, let's just say persons buying designer clothing, majority of the persons, I'm not gonna say they should or shouldn't, but they probably shouldn't.
Listen, yeah, that's a whole nother
But
podcast
what
for
I
that.
but
I
what
have
I
to say about that.
but what I'm saying is if more people are buying designer clothing, it's because more people are seeking attention, upfront attention. So if I got on Gucci and Prada or whatever, I don't even know all of them. Like you
Right.
might look at me a little more.
Mhm.
You know, you look, okay, yeah, I look okay. So half the work is done.
Sure.
And then I got a nice car, ooh. And then like even more half the work is done. But do you really want to be with that person
Right.
that is picking you because of what you have on?
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's the social media. I got it. You don't got it. You ain't up on this. You see what it is.
Sure.
And then it's the same with the girls too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I absolutely.
And then they all want to go out
Yeah.
because everybody is seeking attention and validation
Right.
from a mass of people, because that's who everybody else is getting attention from. Like if there was never a like button on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, if there was never a follow button, it's just like this stuff comes up, just like the newspaper. So much stuff would be different. But the validation and the likes and the follows
Right.
is I got to do that too.
Yeah. I mean, really, too, that's basic human nature. To feel, every human wants to feel a sense of belonging, to be desired, to be wanted. That's at the core of every human being. So, but I think that social media for sure has magnified that. Absolutely. But I don't think it'd be a fair statement to say, and you're not saying this, but that none of this was there before.
Oh yeah,
It
no.
absolutely was.
No, stuff was here before.
Right, but it's
everyone couldn't see it.
right.
So everybody didn't
So
know
just
what was
like
going on.
Police brutality.
Yeah,
right?
oh
That's
yeah.
always
That's
been
always,
there. That's always been an
it's
issue,
just
but
because we got
now-
cameras now.
That's right. So yeah.
And then what people really don't pay attention to is that it's not just us getting beat. everybody is getting beat. And like, that's the worst part. Because if you're on social media or TikTok or YouTube or you're watching the news all the time, it's Latin people, it's white people, it's Asian people. They're all getting the same treatment in different parts of the country, of course. But we just need to treat people better. And
right, absolutely. But you have to be in a place here where you have the capabilities to do that.
Yeah.
And I think for some people, because they're dealing with their own internal suffering and their own traumas and wounds, that's really difficult.
Well, everybody got something.
Yeah,
that they're
it's a
dealing
spectrum
with.
For sure, right?
Even though his mom may be awesome, like, I know it hurts still. Mm-hmm. Like, because I mean, my dad passed away in '98. Mm-hmm. So like, it sucks.
Yeah.
Nothing was ever the same after that. Everything was different. And then especially being in a place where I'm not from. I'm not from here. I'm from Compton. Like I'm from LA. Like, it's way different here.
Right.
So just like I did a small episode yesterday, and it's already up, but everybody's going through something. Everybody's gone through something. Mm-hmm. And everybody went through something in a different place. Mm-hmm. So, like, we don't exactly know how you feel or how they feel. Right. And the hardest thing is to hope somebody understands that you've gone through all of this stuff and this is why you're like this. And like hopefully, like, you guys can work some stuff out. But most of the time you can't, because you tell a person the secrets and then it's used against you in some way or something like that.
Right. And the reality of it is, to break that down even further, there's 3 levels of consciousness, right? So there's the id, there's the id, the ego, and the superego, right? And we are most aware with the ego, right? The me, right? That when something happens to us, right, or there's a negative interaction that we don't like, we take it personal, right? But the reality of it is, just like you said, everybody is going through something, right? So we have to learn to remove our ego. It's hard to do, but take a step back and be like, oh, dang, they must be going through something, right? So when you allow yourself to take a step back, right, that then allows us to then insert empathy, right? So like, okay, dang, they must be going through something, let me not take it personal, let me not judge them, right? So that immediately changes our state of mind with that interaction with that person. Does that happen overnight? Absolutely not. But if we start to train our brains in that way, right, then our approach, our interactions with each other will change. That'll change.
And then we need to figure out why we're in the relationships with one another. Because most people don't understand why you're in a relationship. Am I in a relationship for me? Am I in a relationship for you? Or am I in a relationship for both of us? Now, most people are in a relationship for themselves. So if you could honestly and actually see like why you're actually in a relationship, then things would be a lot easier, especially for men and women. And I mean, and then for everybody. 1 guard, 2 guard, 3 guard, 4, 5. Why are we here together? You go down there. That's where you're supposed to be. Stop playing, bro. Like you here for you. That's why you keep coming up here trying to shoot these threes. Like, okay, we know you can shoot, but right now we need you to get these rebounds, dude. So in a relationship, and then like friendship, young person relationship, old person, everything. That's the hardest part. because people don't look at it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you're in a relationship for yourself, the relationship is not going to last.
Right.
Because eventually that person is going to see, well, you only here when you need something. And it's not going to work. Either they're going to start treating you the same way, and then you're going to feel a certain way. So I do think that's one of the biggest things. We just got to find out why we're in each relationship.
Right. But to be able to answer that, you need to know who you are.
Well, yeah, that's a self deal.
You need to work through whatever traumas, issues, that you have. Do not come into a relationship broken. Do not come into a relationship thinking that your significant other is supposed to complete you. Because the reality of it is you should come into a relationship whole, solid, and complete. It is not your partner's job to complete you. And I don't know who, this is my personal opinion, I don't know who came up with that ideology that being in a relationship with another person somehow completes them. No, you should come into a relationship whole, solid, and complete, and healthy of mind, body, and soul.
But most people are not healthy.
Exactly, and that's why they should take that time and be by themselves. Be by yourself. Why are we under this belief that we need to be in a relationship with people? Right? So that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
I think
some might even argue that there's some religion behind that, but that's a whole nother podcast.
I think if once again, it's just that. If we're here for each other, then things will be okay. But if we're not here for each other, then things aren't going to be okay. Because one person is going to feel used or worn down or whatever the case is. So like my hardest deal is fifth grade, sixth grade, 8th grade, my mom moved here. Now, my parents didn't get divorced. Her job transferred her. So my dad was like, we should stay here, so you go to school here and play basketball and baseball here. So yeah, like all of that stuff worked out fine. But it's still like you're one parent is over there and then another parent is here with the kid. Yeah, it's your choice. But maybe at some point you do feel burdened.
Who feels burdened?
Maybe
one of
the parents do feel burdened. Or maybe one of the parents do feel like I'm up here by myself and I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? But and like at the end of it, they were doing it for like we were still in LA for me. So I could go to high school and play sports there. Because it is true. You go to a new place, you got to prove yourself time and time again before you could get wherever you're going to be. Now, there's so many people that just want to win. If your son is good and I'm the coach and I'm just like, hey, what's up, bro? You want to come play? You know what I mean? Like it's different now.
Yeah.
But everything isn't a straight line, and stuff is hard.
Yeah, and communication is essential. It's essential, and most people don't know how to communicate effectively. They just don't. They are not. They're not very. They're. There's two, I think, ways of listening. Either you're listening for understanding, which is ideal, or you're listening to respond or to rebuttal.
Yeah.
And so if you make your mind up initially, right, and really go into a conversation being prepared and open to understand, then there's a lot of progress, there's a lot of momentum that can happen. But to do that requires a level of vulnerability, which most people don't like. No one likes to be vulnerable. No
Yeah.
one likes to appear or to be perceived that they don't know. Because why? Because it's a form of weakness, right? But we have to do a lot of unlearning. We've been taught some really, and I'm gonna watch my language because I'm a lady, but we have to, really, really correct some things, in our approach. We haven't had the best of examples provided for us to know how to do that, to effectively communicate, and the reality of it,
Well,
back, families were broken, families were broken up. So if you go back to the whole, transatlantic slave trade, we were broken.
well, that's when they say everything started.
And they don't want to talk about that, right? They don't want to talk about that we actually come from royalty, we were kings and queens and all of that stuff. So that's another separate podcast.
I think the hardest thing with that is showing it though, like actually showing it as a group of people. Yeah. But it's hard to show something as a group of people when the whole group don't care. Because that's the hardest thing for us, and that's why we don't get anywhere, is because we don't have enough people that's on the same page.
Yeah, we too busy, comparing and trying to have that. What's that? The crabs in a barrel mentality.
Yeah. And then that's why I stopped doing, like the interviews. Like So I used to do a lot of artist interviews, and then I don't do any artist interviews anymore. We could come and we can talk or like this and have a conversation, but the interviews, like, it's too many people doing podcasts that weren't doing podcasts before, and then they're doing podcasts for because the other work didn't pan out. How about that?
Because the other work didn't.
The other work didn't pan out, so you already have a following, so you might as well just start talking about something. So it's kind of like it's just like a retired sports person that goes to be an announcer. They've taken all the jobs. Like, and these announcers that announce for years and years and years, they're not getting the jobs because you want to listen to somebody that's been through the fire and not to Skip Bayless. You know what I mean? So once you can't play this sport, go be an announcer or spokesperson or team coach or trainer or something like that. But that's why, like, it's too many people trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I just count these as episodes. I don't really like try to do podcasts and have all the, because I would have like 2 or 3 people here sometimes so we could all talk. But there's so many people doing that. And then there's so many people just doing it to bash the other sex to get the numbers up. And I'm not interested in talking about hella bad stuff. Because, bad stuff don't make you feel good. Or don't make me feel good.
Right, but to a person who's already functioning at a very low level, because...
Well, I'm trying to be somewhere else.
So people who are in a good place, they don't need that. They don't need to do that. I don't need to tear you down because I'm already up here. You know what I mean? So for me to be at a level of something so disgusting, I think, right? That means I would need to stoop myself to be down here, right? So that my mind's so far away from that because I'm a healthy functioner, not speaking specifically to myself, but a healthy functioning person, right? They're up here. So that means in order for me to criticize and to, to be negative, I gotta step down from where I'm at. So, which is the ideal place, right? We're not perfect, right?
No one's perfect.
So some days you might be, you're not at your best or your A game, and you're like, okay, I got time today. No. Anyway, but yeah.
So where do you get the most stuff? The families or the relationships or?
I get the most. It's mostly individuals because with couples or family, there's a lot of you have to. There's a lot of begging and pleading the other person to participate, and that other person might not want to.
Yeah.
So much more individual work. Yeah. Right. So what's going on for you up here is going to impact you physically, right? So if you're in a depressed state, you're not going to want to take care of yourself physically. You're not going to eat right. You're not going to exercise, right?
Yeah.
And then your physical body, if you're aching, or if you have a physical condition, it's going to impact you mentally, right? So it's very much so interrelated. So stop thinking that, oh well, I don't need therapy, or I don't need to go, whatever. Like, yes, you do. And you need to make sure that you find a good therapist. That rapport is very important, and you might not find that person the first time that you go. Okay, it's not a good fit. It may not be a good fit the first maybe 3 different therapists you try, but it's important to find a good, solid therapist. And if you're looking for one, right?
Yeah. So what's the information?
Yeah. So my website, it's Kelly K Hanzy Therapy. So I offer individual therapy, couples therapy, family therapy, premarital counseling, or even if you're not married yet and you're dating, you and your significant other are having some complications. And I offer both in-person and telehealth sessions. Telehealth is really it's blown up since COVID.
And then more people may be more comfortable too.
Yeah, and it's convenient, right? You don't even have to travel anywhere, right?
I think Ron Artest, he would be like, yeah, I'll just call my therapist at halftime.
Therapist on speed dial, and it should be a space that feels comfortable, and it should be a space that feels like you're supported and not judged. If you feel that way, I would encourage you to talk about that with your therapist, and if you continue to feel that way, maybe it's not a good fit, and that's okay. That's okay. This is your health. You do not owe anyone an apology if it's not a good fit. I tell people all the time when I first meet with them, that's important to me. I would not take it personal if you're like, yeah, this is not a good fit. That means that I feel like that means I have successfully done my job. If you are able to say, hey, this is not a good fit.
Well, I tell some of my customers, barbers and patrons, like the relationship is no different than a relationship with your person.
Yeah.
If you're always late and the barber is a punctual barber, you guys not gonna get along.
Right.
If you're loud and obnoxious and he's chilling and he just want to kick back,
right,
you guys aren't gonna get along.
Yeah.
If the barber's hella loud and always on the phone and doing the most, and you're just the person, man, I gotta get back to work.
Right.
you're not gonna get along.
Right.
So it's not all the time that the barber is bad. Sometimes you just need to go somewhere else.
Right. It's not
And I
good
tell
fit.
people all the time, like, dude, people could cut hair everywhere. Like, there's good barbers everywhere,
Right.
but it's still that relationship deal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the foundation to everything.
Yeah.
So your personal life, your professional life, that relationship is important.
You would think my life is perfect. It's jacked up just like everybody else's. No, I'm just
Listen, everybody is struggling with something. And listen, I tell people all the time, if a person looks too well put together,
there's something wrong with them.
I'm really worried. Like something is not right.
I tell people all the
bad.
time. I said, all of this stuff, this come out of problems. Like I just don't sit here and start painting. Like, I'm happy. I don't want to paint when I'm happy. Like, I didn't even like painting before. But yeah, when somebody's all perfect all the time, they hiding some stuff or not dealing with some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then I also feel, like with role models, I don't want a role model that's perfect. I don't want a role model that's so well put together, has never had a challenge, never has experienced adversity. I don't want that role model. I want the role model who has been through some stuff.
That's why Kevin Hart and Magic Johnson is so successful.
Yeah.
Because they normal people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like if you've never gone through anything challenging, right? It's like, well, that makes me feel like wow, I could never, like, that's not where I am. But it's like, well, I want to know, how did you get there, right? I want to see, what steps you took, what was helpful for you, right? And so that's what I have those conversations often with my son too. Like, look, I'm very transparent with him when I'm having a hard day. Because I think it's important that he see both sides.
Yeah.
You see your mom, doing well, happy, smiling, but it's also important that he sees when I'm struggling. And so that to him models that, okay, I don't have to be well put together all the time. I don't have to be happy all the time. That it's okay to not be okay sometimes. And then with that, I'm able to tell him, this is what I do to improve my mood. This is what's helpful for me. We just set up a meditation space in our house, which is on it's on my Instagram, right? So Kelly K Hanzy Therapy on Instagram, right? So and I'm teaching him how to meditate. I'm teaching him how to regulate his emotions. I'm teaching him how to just be present, that he doesn't need to look towards, a potential negative vice, okay, to get his, head right. Or he doesn't have to rely on a certain person or thing, right? So he has the capacity to do that for himself.
Yep, I think I know for sure my kids know that I smoke. I don't smoke in front of them. And then even the conversation is your brain is not fully developed, like for this to be okay, and like you shouldn't do it. I understand, that other kids are doing it or later in life, like you're gonna want to do it, but right now, like you're not ready for that.
Right.
Like, we still got to tell you to do this or this or this
right.
or this. Like,
yeah.
Like, even with relationships. Like, bro, if we got to tell you to get in the shower, you don't need a girlfriend yet. And then it may seem mean, but it's not mean. It's just trying to teach you the stages of life. Like, get yourself together, because that girl gonna mess you up. Like, relationships both ways, especially for young people, Like boys could be mean and girls could be mean. Like both ways. Girls have an advantage. Like forever. Forever. Look.
What do you mean?
So look, right? This is fast story. So I cut this girl's hair, but she wants to be a boy, right? Her dad calls her a boy. Everybody calls her a boy, but me. You're still a girl, dog. So she got a girlfriend. So she on the phone with her girlfriend, but she's going through it. I said, you chose this. You chose to come over here with us. You were on the right side before, but now you chose to come over here and she's treating you a certain way. I said, that's how we get treated all the time. And it's not always bad, but you're stressing yourself out about this girl when you used to be the person getting stressed out over. You came over here with us, so now you got to deal with whatever it is. So a lot of times it is a little harder. Women have a lot of choices.
So do men.
No.
Yes.
No. Look, we're gonna be real honest. Real honest. This don't even have to be in the thing. But this is real for real. Not like you only have a lot of choices if that's what you want.
Right. Right.
If you're going outside all the time, if you're going to do all of that stuff, then yeah. Even for me, like people would be like, bro, you lying. But nah, like I'm chilling.
So both have choices. So yeah,
I could post a picture and ain't no girl DMing me. ain't nobody DMing me. Yeah, sometimes you get those hearts, but that's because you've known these people for a long time and they're just proud of the stages that your life is going in. But I'm not getting DMs or messages or all of that stuff, and most guys aren't. Like, you never know. You just walk by.
Women are much more reserved in their approach. Some women. We're in a new time now. There's very aggressive women. But yeah.
Yep. But thank you for coming, and I think we should have like there's a young lady. Her name is Erica J, and then she's a singer, but she works. That's what she does. She works in a mental like health place, and then she was pretty excited about the episode. So maybe you guys could like have a conversation together. And then there's a fighter. He's a MMA fighter, and then I told him, and then he was like hella excited too. I was gonna have him come today, but he's a good person to talk to. Like he probably even need to get talked to.
We all do.
like he need to get talked to.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah.
You know, life is hard. Life is hard, and you know, no one's perfect, right? And we're all striving towards something. I don't think we ever arrive at any place. I just don't. You know, there's always room for improvement.
Yep.
We're always learning. We're always growing. We should be adapting. You know, I forget who said this, but the day we stop learning is the day we die. I forget who said that. You know, I have to. But I agree. I absolutely agree. But yeah, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah. But people need to hear this kind of stuff. Instead of like just listening to the norm that's there all the time. It's important for people to know that it's okay to go and talk to someone or to go and get help, because like for us, like that wasn't cool.
No.
And then like you said, it may be the wrong person that you're talking to too.
It's not a good fit.
Yeah.
It's not a good fit, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not. That's okay. And it comes down to the relationship. Like I tell most clients, the work truly is, you know, not the theoretical orientation or on the training that you had, but it's the rapport, it's the relationship. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Well, thank you again. And then